Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you are dialing in from around the world. Michelle Clark here, the Chief Partnerships Officer for GeniusU, and I've got BB with me as well, our content manager, who's over in Bali. I'm in the UK, she's in Bali. So it's good afternoon to you, BB, I think.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's good afternoon for me here. Excited to be here.
So this is the first of our little mini webinar series on microdegrees and the real power of creating microdegrees on GeniusU. So this is our first one. And it also happens to be a very, very special day. So for those of you who are logging in, this is a very special webinar because BB is going to be announcing on this call about the launch of a fabulously exciting competition where one of you is going to get to win a fully funded place to come out to Bali and hang out with BB for 3 days, 4 nights. And Roger and myself will be part of this program as well, where you can actually create your entire microdegree. So we're going to be telling you about that later on this call. And somebody who is on this call, I'm pretty sure, or somebody who's not on this call, is going to be one of those lucky winners who's going to find out about that. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on, but that's going to go live today. And I know we've had people getting pretty excited about that. So let me just do a little screen share here. We've set up a little chat box here. So this is us. We're in the Entrepreneur Mentor Circle. Now, I know some of you listening to this call might not yet be mentors. That's okay. This is really a webinar for people who are mentors. So we're running the chat in the Mentor Circle. So if you're not a mentor, that's why you're not in this circle. So you won't be able to put the chat in the Facebook group, but you will be able to see what we're writing here and what we're putting. So we're running the chat on the couple circle. So if you're not a mentor, that's I'm getting some playback. I think that might have been your side. Was it, BB? Yeah. Okay. I'm hearing myself twice through the speakers. All right, good. So, so if you're, like I said, if you're a leader listening into this call, that's perfectly cool. We want you to be on this call so you can hear about it as well, because you might decide you want to come and be a mentor too, because it's definitely more fun doing that. But for the mentors, this is where the chat is today. So you can go ahead and here and type hello and let us know where you are from. So here's me. Good morning from sunny Freckleton today. So just let us know who you are, who's dialing in, and where you are. And if you're listening to the recording, you can be going in and saying hi to us as well. So that's in the Mentor Circle. We'll be using this particular thread for any comments, questions, posting links, etc. as well. So do just find that little thread there, and you can post your comments and questions in. All right, let's get started. And while I'm just sharing, BB's going to be watching the comments and questions coming through, and she'll be passing them through to me. And when BB's sharing, I shall pass the questions back to her as well. So you guys can just keep posting in there. All right, so let's have a little start here. Here we go. How to use education marketing to get consistent leads. So there is a booming industry, which is the education marketing industry. And while that might sound like a fancy term, is basically about having really cool education, which is online, which you're sharing with other people, which is helping you to build your community. And we're going to very much focus this at building your microdegrees on GeniusU right now, and why we're actively encouraging our mentors to do that, why we're making it really easy for you to be able to do that, why we're giving you heaps of support and training and mentoring in order to be able to do that, and how it's going to turn into direct cash flow for you. So I'm really hoping that those of you on this call today are going to get super excited. And on this call, you're going to be talking to us and sharing with us your ideas for your micro degree and how that's going to link into selling your product or services as well. So what we're going to cover on the call today, we want you to understand how do you actually build a community of raving fans by having education. Like, how do you actually do that? Where, I mean, we literally sit on a community of raving fans, and I know some of you are those raving fans too. Like, even I'm one of them. Like, I'm a raving fan of lots of our education as well. So how do you actually do that? What is it that you need to create to make that happen? And how can you use that through GeniusU? How do you then get that community when they become a raving fan? How do you actually turn those into direct leads? And better still, how do you turn them into clients? And I'm going to go through some stats with you that we found on GeniusU, and share with those how you can translate those directly into generating revenue yourself as well. And why you should do it on GeniusU. I mean, there's lots of other places where you can do this as well. And I would definitely urge you to, if you're creating a micro degree, have your content in various places. But why GeniusU is the best place for you to do it right now as a mentor. And we're also going to go through how do you actually build your own micro degree? How do you go about deciding what your micro degree should be? What's the best value content that you can be sharing that's going to get someone super excited and make them want to actually be part of your community in the first place? So that's what we're going to do in this call today. And like I said, we're also going to share about the competition, which is going live today. So it's very exciting. It's a very exciting day indeed. And you guys are going to be the first people to be a part of that competition as well. All right. So I think I do know that some of the people who are on this call are brand new mentors. We are taking brand new mentors in pretty much every week. So maybe you joined us recently as a flow consultant, or maybe you've come to iLab recently or joined Crystal Circle, come to Wealth Dynamics Masters. Maybe you've joined one of our other certifications. So whichever, or Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind, whichever route you've come in, welcome. And if you're an experienced mentor and you've been around a long time, good to see you back as well. So some of you know a little bit more about this than others, but just to give you an idea, if you're new to GeniusU and you're new to being a mentor, we already have over 800,000 entrepreneurs on our GeniusU platform right now. That's the number of members who've joined. I mean, it's growing at a phenomenal rate. It's growing at a rate of 1,000 a day, people joining, which is kind of crazy right now. And that's without us doing a whole lot of promotion. We are doing a little bit of promotion, but we're actually not actively promoting growing the membership right now because there's so many things we want to build and improve, but we've still got 1,000 people every day joining anyway, and taking the Genius test, taking the Millionaire Master Plan test, taking the passion test, doing all those things, and getting themselves really focused at how they start interacting in personalized learning. And this is the thing that's really super unique about GeniusU. This makes it different to any other, I guess, online learning platform like Udemy or Udacity or places like that, where you can go and find lots of online learning. When you come onto GeniusU, you get to take all these tests first of all. Genie knows whether you're a dynamo, whether you're a steel, whether you're a blaze, whether you're a tempo. Genie knows what level of the Millionaire Master Plan you're at. Genie knows your passions, your purpose. And so Genie is actually recommending specific trainings appropriate to you based on what you've been doing and learning and what you're focused at and where you want to go with your business as well. So that makes it very, very unique. And it means that the people who are coming on to look at your education already are warm. They're already warm. They're already excited. They're already doing stuff on GeniusU. And I remember just, was it 2 years ago when we launched Dynamics 2.0, which was the upgraded version of the Talent Dynamics and Wealth Dynamics reports. And I remember at that time when we invited people to be part of that promotion where they got to go through the Dynamics 2.0 to get the second copy of the profile test ahead of everyone else. So many people went in and did that. And I was having conversations with lots of clients at that point who were brand new clients. Lots of brand new clients, in fact. They were booking up and having calls with the Genius Igniters, and I was doing some of those calls. And I remember speaking to people and thinking, like, I don't know who this person is. You know, we haven't had a conversation with them ever before, but they're booking in a call and they want to find out about joining Crystal Circle or coming to iLab or something. And so many people were having conversations with me, and I was saying, wow, like, you know, it's really interesting. You're curious to come to iLab, but I noticed, like, you know, you haven't been to any of our events before. You haven't been along to a Fast Forward. Yeah, well, I've been on GeniusU. Oh, really? So what have you been doing on GeniusU? I've been doing all the micro degrees. I was like, really? So I would look at that person's account with them on GeniusU, and right enough, they'd be going through the passion test, the purpose test, the genius test. And the people I was speaking to were able to talk very confidently and very proficiently about the different geniuses, about the different profiles, about the Millionaire Master Plan level. And I actually found that they were telling me the programs that they needed to do because they had done so much research and understood this personalized learning way better. So like the people who are coming through GeniusU, believe you me, they are warm, they are hungry, and they're very clear what they need to do. So they're looking for really great content. There's people, and they're looking for specific content. They don't want to just dive in and do anything. They're looking for something very specific. So have that up your sleeve, because I know all you mentors on the call, you've done some kind of certification, you've done some kind of training where you know a lot about our programs, our products, and you're able to weave that in to your micro degree as well. So that's what's really unique about GeniusU, is it's allowing people to have that very, very personalized experience. And it means that when you arrive on GeniusU, you're not just looking through all the micro degrees trying to figure out what to do, but you're getting very, very specific direction as to what you should be doing based on where you're at. why do we do this all for free? And I know I've had conversations with several mentors, and BB, I know you've had lots of conversations with mentors about pricing of Microdegrees. It's a conversation that comes up a lot. When I'm speaking with mentors, I typically am advising them to give their education out for free. There's some that I'm saying, yeah, you know, that should be a low price. That should have a price point on it. But for most mentors, I'm recommending that they put their education on GeniusU for free. Because when you look at what we've got on there for free and the standard of education we put on there, there's such a high standard already on there just of our own Microdegrees. Why would you want to go charge for something and limit the number of people who's going to join your community and join your Microdegree? So the reason why we do it for free is very, very easy for us to share. And it becomes very shareable for others. You'll notice in our Microdegrees that one of the steps at the end is, you know, go tell other people what you think about this, go share this with other people, write a review about this. So it becomes very, very easy to share. And more people want to do that because they can access stuff for free and they can see it's very, very high caliber and high quality content. So they want to come back and they want to do more with us. And it's really focused at solving a problem. And I know BB's going to talk about this when she shares with you about how you create a Microdegree, but being really clear, what's the problem that you're solving? What's the problem that you have identified is already out there in the marketplace for the customers? What's the problem that you know keeps them up at night, is causing them concern within their business or concern within their lives? And then for you to create a solution that speaks directly into that problem. And people are looking for this. They're like, I know what, you know, I need to work on right now. I need to get more leads in my business. So I'm going to go do the orange to yellow Microdegree because I need to learn how to run a promotion plan. Or, you know, I'm struggling with like getting my team all in flow and getting that. So I'm going to go do the, you know, how to have a green level business. So they get really clear like what they need to do and where they need to get to. And because we're doing it for free, it's allowing us to grow at the rate we're growing at. We have about, there's about 600 people a day do the Genius test, and there's about 400 people a day do our other free tests. So it's the test that's making GeniusU grow. It's not because we're saying, hey, come join GeniusU. It's because we're saying, hey, take the Genius test or take the passion test or take the purpose test or do the millionaire master plan test. And then once they're in, they're like, wow, look at all this cool stuff. And now we've actually got mentors starting to create cool content as well. And by doing stuff that's of real value, it builds trust. Those of you who have done the Flow Consultant certification or you've been through EMC, you know a lot about how this works. The fact that the more value you deliver to the marketplace, the greater the trust that the marketplace has in you. So, and the more trust that they have in you, the more willing they are to spend money with you. And we know this, like you can't just go around doing cold calling and trying to sell stuff to people. Like it doesn't work anymore. I mean, that's such an old fashioned way of sales. I just had a conversation the other day with a friend of mine who like was been trying to do this cold calling. I'm like, seriously, are you getting any results? She's like, no. I said, well, it's just not working right. That's just not a way to make sales. You've got to be doing something in the marketplace that's delivering value to other people where they get to experience that value, where they get to build that trust with you really quickly, because the quicker that they build that trust, the quicker they want to do more with you. And they see you as the go-to person that has that value and is building that trust. So think about that. Think about what is the Microdegree that I want to create? What's the value that I want to be delivering to this marketplace as well in order that they can build trust? And then I'm going to show you how we actually are generating like around $79 per person per year who actually becomes a customer through taking the Genius test as well. So that's why we do it for free. And that's why most people are putting their education on there for free as well. So you that doesn't mean you have to go do this for free. You can decide what you want to put your Microdegree on for, but I highly recommend that you do it either free or very, very low price. So this is the Genius test I was telling you about. In fact, let me just go on to GeniusU because I put this slide on here last night. Let's just see like where it is at today. Here we go, GeniusU Microdegrees. Yeah, so 584, 558, and yesterday it was 584, 307. So it actually went up just since I prepared these slides last night. Like that's the rate that this is growing, right? So this has got nearly 600,000 people now who've done the Genius test, and it's got 525-star reviews. And I'm pretty sure all of you have done this. Like I'm pretty sure everyone on this call has done the Genius test. If you haven't, like definitely go do this, because the way we've structured this in itself is really interesting. So you come in, you take the test, you find out what your Genius is in a nutshell. So you get to download what your report is to tell you. You've got this really cool video from Roger telling you like about the Genius test. You got this information about Roger here as well. And then everybody who joins this micro degree automatically gets joined into the micro degree circle as well. And we're setting up that functionality for the mentors as well. So that's coming too. So you'll actually have your circle will be generated automatically when you create your micro degree, and people will just be automatically joined into it as well. So that's happening right now. So first of all, it tells you to take the test. Then it says, what's your genius in a nutshell? So these are all little videos, right? Learn like a genius, lead like a genius, live like a genius, love like a genius. These are all amazing trainings. Now, what we've done is we've also turned these into, we've taken each video and turned them into email content as well. So when someone does the genius test, we can actually email them out and send them more information and make sure they've actually gone through these videos. And of course, you can see where like everyone's getting up to as well. And the good news for you as a mentor is you can actually see how many people are taking your micro degree, and you can see where they're up to. You can see like what steps they've got up to, who's getting further than someone else. And so you can contact people as well. What's the winning formula? What's the losing formula? Add networks in, add friends, so you can go out and invite. And we find a lot of referrals is how people are coming through now, because other people are saying, you should take the genius test, or they're guessing someone's genius test as well. And then by the time it gets to step 12 here, this is where it's saying, now you can take your Wealth Dynamics profile. Now, what we've done here to stop people, we don't want people to get to this point and then not do it because they have to pay $97, but they have a choice. They can either guess or they can take the Wealth Dynamics profile. So they can guess, oh, I'm a supporter profile, or they can actually go pay the $97 and do the test. And there's a number of people who at this point actually go in and pay directly, and then they get to do the review, and then they get the congratulations. So, and Bibi's going to talk about how you can structure your micro degree and the different steps you can put in place to make that super exciting and attractive. But this is a very, very popular micro degree. Another one that is really cool as well. I'll go through those afterwards, like the passion test and the purpose test. But I wanted to share about the genius test and to share some statistics with you on this as well. So let me just open this back up again. So here's the genius test. So we have 600 people approximately a day are taking the genius test, and we have about 400, as I said, from our other tests. So it's the genius test that's really leading the way, and it's the one that we put the most effort into and focus at as well. And you can see it's the one that's always at the top. It's the one that people are most curious about, and then they get to join a circle. So there's approximately 1,000 people joining GeniusU every day, which in itself is a good enough reason for you to create a micro degree, because it's growing so crazy rapidly. That's 30,000 new people every month. It's like bonkers. So we'll be at 1.5 million this year, and we'll be at 3 million members next year. It's already the largest entrepreneur training network, right? So out of those 30,000 people per month, 2,000 of those will become a customer during the next 12 months. So it doesn't mean that during that month they become a customer, but at some point during the 12 months, because they've built so much trust and they get invited to other things, at some point they'll become a customer, which is about 0.07%. By the way, these numbers are lower when you have higher numbers. So that might sound a bit weird, but the higher number of people you have joining, the lower the number of people going to do stuff. So for you guys, when you have a smaller number of people joining your circle, it's likely you'll have a higher number of people converting to becoming a customer. The average spend of each customer on GeniusU, we've now got that to $79 in a year. Now, that's a customer, not a new member. So that's from the 2,000, not the 30,000. So the 30,000 is the new members every month. The 2,000 is the people who actually become a customer. And they will spend on average $79. So whether they buy a profile test or whether they buy Wealth Dynamics Masters or Crystal Circle, the average is $79. So you can see the math here. If you take the 2,000 people who join each month times by the $79, that's $158,000 per year just from 1 month of new members. So when we do that over a whole year, that's like $1.8 million of revenue. Now, that's pretty impressive, right? And we spend about $2 per lead to bring those people in and to do the work on GeniusU, etc. So that if that's not exciting enough for you to really want to take action, like let's break this down. Let's break this down into some smaller numbers, which could be more achievable. You don't have to be doing all the work that we're doing. You don't have to be doing the content marketing side that we're doing and the digital marketing. You can just be going out there and sharing with your own network and asking your network to share for you. And know that Genie is also going to be promoting your micro degree, and that people are just going to be finding it. They're just going to be finding it and doing it based on the fact that it's really great content. So let's take an example. So if you just had 20 people joining your micro degree each day, just 20 people, not 1,000, that's going to give you 600 people in a month, which is going to give you about 7,200 people joining your community in a year. And this builds up, by the way. Like you can just build this up over time. But that's just 20 a day. And initially, you could just be, like I said, just go out and ask all your own clients to come on board. out of the 600 per month, let's assume that the same number, which as I said, would actually be higher for you, but let's assume it's the same number at 0.97. Let's assume that that's the number that become a customer. So 40 of those 600 each month would become a customer with you at over 12 months at some point. And this is just me replicating the numbers, right? So our average spend of each customer is $79 in a year. Let's just say that it's the 40 people spending $79 is $3,160 of new revenue from the new members just from 1 month. You times that by 12 months, it's $37,000. So it's just under $40,000 of additional revenue. Whether now you don't need to be doing a huge amount of digital marketing to make those kind of numbers, right? That's just about sharing. And let me break it down in a different way where I make it even more practical on what you could actually be doing once you've got your micro degree up and running. So let's stick with the same numbers. If you had those 20 people joining your micro degree each day, so that's still the 600 per month, still the 7,200. Let's assume that once a month you run a value webinar, or twice a month you run a value webinar. Or if you're like Catherine Ord, or you're like Sajid, you'd be running them weekly actually. But let's just assume you're doing one a month. So out of those 600, you do a value webinar every month based on your circle, based on your micro degree, which is giving more value, giving more teaching. 60 people show up to that. 60 people book, which is 10%. So 60 of the 600 go, yep, that's interesting. I've enjoyed the micro degree. I'm up for booking onto your webinar. And then as it goes, usually 50% of the people show up who book. So typically it's a lower show up rate, but that's okay because people watch the recordings as well. Let's assume that out of the 30 people that show up, you then invite people to take a next action. So on your webinar, you give them lots of training, lots of value, and you say, hey, if this has been of real value and you'd like to find out more about how you can find out, by working with me on my coaching program, you should book a call with me here. Let's say that 30% of the people who show up book a call. So that's 10 jump on and have a one-to-one with you. Now, your own stats, but these are kind of fairly sort of standard average stats that are going. Out of those 10 people that book a call, 4 of them say, yes, I'm going to join your program and spend $1,000 with you. That's $4,000, right? These, as I said, are fairly typical stats. You can change the stats up and down. You'll know your own stats, or if you don't, then use these as a guideline. Use them to create some kind of predictability with your promotion. If you've got your own stats, replace them in and look. But this is just knowing that there's this constant flow of new people coming in who are warm and also very into our education and very, very clear and very aware of what they need and what they want. So over 12 months, this could be like an additional $50,000 of revenue if you just hit those numbers and you just do those things. Now, many of you, like I said, I know Sajid and Catherine are running weekly webinars through GeniusU. So they've got people showing up, but it is about how do you get more people to come? How do you get more people to show up? Well, it's by getting them into your micro degree and getting them super excited about your content and saying, I need more of this. This is awesome. Where can I find out more? How can I go deeper? How can I learn more about that? So why put your micro degree on GeniusU? Like I said, as opposed to some other place, and definitely put, like, if you're creating this content, put it everywhere you want to. But we've already got 800,000 members. And these people are looking for help. They're looking for education. Like I said, there's 1,000 members joining every day, and they are active. They're doing stuff. They're taking micro degrees as soon as they join. They literally do one of them as soon as they join. That's how they join, is by taking one of the profile tests, either the passion test, the purpose test, the Millionaire Master Plan, or the Genius test. So they're in that frame of mind of doing something. And they've done all those things for free. And now Genie is actually saying, hey, go do something else. So by the time they arrive at your micro degree, because they've been pinpointed by Genie or some friends recommended, or they've seen a high review, it's likely that this is the right thing for them to be doing. So they're going to be a warm lead. They're engaged and they're looking for people like you. They're looking for really good mentors. So I hope this has given you enough of a reason as to why you should do it. Now, let me share with you. I'll just go on to line rather than show you the slides, because again, this is kind of like live right now. So you've got the GeniusU micro degrees here and the Mentor micro degrees. We're going to change up this this a little slightly and make this a little bit easier to use, but it's here now, so you can actually go search for these micro degrees. Here's the Health Dynamics micro degree that Joe Formosa created. Let me just open this one. You can see it's had 37 students enrolled and 1 review, and Joe hasn't actually started to promote it really. It's only just gone where people can actually find, oh, look at all the people saying hello everybody. It's only just got to the point where we've actually made it easy for people to find it. But you can see she's like, here's Joe doing her welcome video. You've got her outcomes on here. It's a free, I mean, this is a very, very high value, high content micro degree, and it's all free. There's some information about Joe. Steve's been in and done it. Hey, also Steve's found out he's given a 5-star review already. It's really great to be giving people reviews so that everyone else can say, well, is this a good one to do? And she's done all these micro degree steps, all these videos. Now, Joe actually came along to the micro degree builder workshop that we did in February in South Africa. So she created the whole thing while she was at the workshop. And like I said, we'll tell you a little bit more about the workshop later on and how you can win a place. So we'd love to have you there doing it, because we went through that whole process with her of sharing like what is of real value, what is it that's going to create a real funnel and an excitement for her clients that's going to make them want to do more as well. And this is really cool. Like if you haven't done this yet, I highly recommend you get in and do this micro degree. I love it. And we've also got who else have we got in here? We've got how to make money from property with no deposit. There's 90 people on this one. I think this was one of the first ones that actually came out. Actually, this is Jackie Edwards who put this together. Jackie's done a lot of online content, so she was one of the first mentors to put us there. And Aldona's been in and said that's an awesome course as well if you're interested in real estate and making income. Maybe for you, you'll need some money to start your business, but any business needs some money, and it'll show you how to do rent to rent. So that's very cool. So she's got 90 students, and again, it's a free one, and she's got lots of videos and how to do things in there as well. So I'll post Jackie's in there as well, and you can find Jackie's there. And then here's one that, oops, I just clicked on the wrong page. Here's one that I was doing just last weekend myself, or the weekend before when it was Easter. Paul Dunn sent this micro degree through, which is about B1G1. It's about how you actually create more impact in the world. So creating more impact in our world than you ever imagined possible. And it's had 48 students enrolled and 4 5-star reviews. And this is a really short micro degree. So it's really interesting that as you look at other people's micro degrees and you go through them, and I highly recommend if you're going to create a micro degree, you go through our micro degrees because you'll see the standard, but go through other people's as well. And look at who's got the most reviews and who's got the most people enrolled, because that's a good clue that that's working. So he's got 4 5-star reviews here already. Debo, who's just joined as a flow consultant, saying this is a simple idea with a massive impact. It was a straightforward 1-hour introduction. David looks like he's posted the same one twice, but he thought it was amazing. And Karen, who's one of our flow consultants as well, and Karen's just joined as a B1G1 consultant. We can all make a real difference to this initiative and be a movement that makes a difference by spending an hour of your time. So this is really cool stuff, right? Let me put this one in here as well. So it's great to see that we've got people putting micro degrees. And I know a lot of the people who have been posting these micro degrees have been working with BB. Where's my little pin post gone? Have been working with BB to figure that out. Where did my little post go? That's weird. Oh, Karen's liked something, so I can find it from there. It is. They've been working with BB, coming to her clinic every week and getting the feedback from her. So what makes a great micro degree, how to put something together that's of real value as well. So that's been like really awesome to do that. So look, on that, why don't I come across to you now, BB? Because I think I've done enough sharing on sort of like why people should be creating a micro degree and what's like super cool about doing that. I'll stop screen sharing at this stage as well. And I think I've talked enough as well about like some of the great mentoring you've been doing and the great sharing you've been doing and how you've been, you're working with quite a few of our clients right now to pull some great micro degrees together. So why don't you share from your perspective, like how you go about helping someone to get really clear the type of micro degree they should pull together, what's something that's of real value, and let's just like have a little conversation around that as well and give people some ideas for their micro degrees.
Sure. Thank you. It's always such a joy listening to you and your energy and the insights that you brought across about, you know, the numbers and how you actually can generate revenue through the micro degrees, which is, I think, super important for people to get the value, which is pretty amazing and pretty big. Yeah. So that was exciting for me. Do you want me to share a little bit more about kind of like how I bring people through the process first? Is that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, I think for the people who are just listening now and thinking, yeah, I've got an idea, like what would be sort of your tips as to how you go about putting the structure together, deciding what's like high value, the kinds of questions that you ask people that when you're having a one-to-one with them as well.
Sure. Well, a really hot tip is to download the free Micro Degree Builder e-guide that we have put online. There's also a little video of me that you see. Just when you log into the create a micro degree page on GeniusU. I can show that that button in a minute. And then once you go through the guide, really, then it's a straightforward kind of route, I think, and asking you, the guide asks you a lot of the questions that you want to be thinking about when you put the microdegree together. So the biggest one is, I think, always with kind of everything, and you know that from your work as well. What's the problem and what's the solution that you're offering, right? I think that's the stuff that people actually struggle with the most.
I know, and it's the most important thing to get right, yeah?
Exactly, yes. So we spent actually quite a long time on a one-to-one basis to like really figure that out, because it's kind of also very closely correlated to the target audience, and is that the right one, and do they really have that problem, and would they take a course and kind of like invest the time and the hours that it takes to create a course. So to get some clarity on that.
It's interesting. I was speaking to a mentor yesterday, and she said, "Oh, I'd love to create a micro degree to help people." What was she saying? To help people like figure out like how they should go about doing their running their events, putting their events together. I said, "That's an awesome micro degree." I said, "Loads of people would do that." I said, how's that going to like help you with what you're trying to do? And she was like, well, I just thought it would help everyone else. I was like, no, it's not going to help you, right? So as well as finding something that's a problem for everyone else, it has to be something that you want to then drive people into like actually doing business with you later on as well, right? It's not just like because there's loads of problems we can identify, but something that you're doing in your business that you can then actually turn into a revenue stream as well.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's another really important point that I asked people is, what's the call to action at the end of the microdegree? And it's so valuable to like think, not only about the degree, but also about the bigger picture, and like how does it tie into your business, and what do you want to get out of it? And I think you brought that across really well in terms of the microdegree is a product that isn't necessarily generating the revenue in itself. I mean, there are other platforms out there like Udemy, for example, where people like easily make their living kind of like from the courses, and I'm not saying that that's not possible, but the thing is the funnel and kind of like the opportunity that you have to create a real exciting community, right? And this is kind of what this webinar is also about. Like, how do you use this microdegree to actually make people see what thought leader you are? And so
and you're right, you can make money from the microdegree. I've got a feedback coming through again. And you can make money from being an author and selling your book. But if you look at the way that we run promotions, the book is the tool to make the real revenue. Like, you can instead of making $50,000 from the book, you can make $500,000 from the products on the back of the book. So it's thinking very differently. Same with the micro degrees as well. But yeah, totally. You can make money just on the micro degrees, but knowing that there's that bigger like back end sale that you can be doing when somebody really gets to build a level of trust with you that they want to work with you.
Yeah, exactly. One of the people that I consulted recently was Adam Houlihan, and
he's one of my mentors.
Yeah. He runs a lot of trainings on how to set up your LinkedIn profile and improve your LinkedIn profile. And he's all about online marketing, right? So one of his books that he actually gave me so that I could like feedback on what I think the microdegree should be about and how to set it up was a free kind of booklet about online marketing. And he brought together all this research from different people, like really undermining that you should bring your most valuable content out for free, because that's going to like raise your standard, your thought leadership, your well, how do I say that? There's something else. Yeah, but like how to be, on top of your own mountain, how to own your mountain. That's another way of saying it.
Yeah.
So I think this is what the microdegree is all about.
Like if you look at what we've done with our microdegrees, like, we've put some of our great content on there. Like, and I had this conversation again with another mentor the other week who was saying, well, should I put my content on for free? Like, should I not? And she was actually saying, it was one of the people coming from my partner accelerator. She said, if I put all this stuff on the microdegree, then people won't want to come and work with me. And I said, well, there's an interesting question, right? So you could say that, but then why would we put all of our content on GeniusU, and why do people still want to come and work with us? Well, it's because we put our content on GeniusU, they want to come work with us. It's like, you guys are so generous. You have so much stuff that you're sharing with us that we find of real value. but we want to get closer to you because we can see the people who are working with you directly, they have a high level of implementation and they're getting better results. And they can see that. So they know that the stuff they're getting for free is very high value. That's why they want to hang out with us. That's why they want to be friends with us. That's why they want to be in our playground. But they can see there's this other group who are in this other playground over here, who instead of just having a couple of swings and slides, they've got like climbing frames and roundabouts, and like they're having a great time. And they can see it's because those guys are on the inner circle and they're actually working with us directly. So it's what you can choose which playground you want to be in. You're going to get a result regardless. But there's no reason why you can't just go out and share that content with them anyway, and let some people figure it out, because they will. But those that really want to get to a higher level, they'll come and want to work with you directly because they know that you are the experts in your area.
Yeah, you touched on something so important there. I think since I'm in online education, I'm really interested in like how other people do it. And I think one of the things that I read recently that really like put it spot on and like what this is about is a post from Marie Folio, who said that actually less than 5% of the people going on a course end up taking the course or like being able to finish it up, right?
Completing it.
So that's another thing that even if you, or even not only completing the course, I think, but the point is being able to put everything into action and like really getting the ROI from it. So you need, you know, and we know this from ourselves in our own lives in terms of our habits, our lifestyle, our new things. And like, if you teach something where somebody needs to adapt a new skill, a new habit, or something that is going to be different in their lives, it's going to take time and like really to kind of sink from the head to the heart. And until you have really made that connection, you need support along the way. So it's not really about the course. It's more about the support that people will need along the way to have the insights and the gains that they really want to have. Yeah.
So do you want to share with everyone, like, once they've got this title in their mind, you know, they've got something that they think is worth sharing, but they, you know, they're not experts at creating online content like the people who are making their money doing that, but they know that they are experts in their field and they've got something value sharing. Like, what do you recommend, like, in terms of how they go through that thought process of structuring their micro degree and how you help them to actually like come up with that plan? Do you want to share that?
Yeah, totally. Like I said, the guide is a very useful thing because it's, I think...
I want to just share that because I went to go and it won't let me just like download and put, it won't let me put a link to it without just clicking on the micro degree. So maybe if you just screen share, then everyone can see what it is. Yeah,
You can just go to Microdegrees here. I'll just walk one step back maybe. And then you have a big red button here, orange actually, to create a microdegree. And then you can go and download the guide here. I think, I'm sorry, no, that.
And you should do that first, right, before you get started.
Yes, exactly. I just do that now because I have so many different ones that are already filled out. I did prepare, I think, because I feel that the guide is very useful for people who like a lot of detail. But for Blaze and Dynamo Geniuses, they feel usually it's all a bit too narrow and it kind of like doesn't support their thought process as much. So I put together this new kind of slides I can show and share them with everyone, kind of similar to how we put together the promotion plan templates. But it kind of like walks you through that entire process that I recommend people kind of looking at. So you have your product, that's kind of the same information that you find in the guide, just with more space and more time to kind of think about it. So, you know, define the problem and what the microdegree kind of like, what solution the microdegree offers. And then you think about what will have changed in the lives of the customers. And you can kind of create bullet points out of that. And that's kind of the structure that your microdegree is based on. So you have like all these different points, which are the customer promises. But then it's also important to think about your own story in this, because a microdegree actually is a very interesting mixture of other content where you have videos and you're personal in a way, you're showing up as you and you want to build a relationship with the people. So it's like, you know, video blogging in a way, just with a lot more content information. And then also there's a lot of written content where it's more detailed and people can kind of like take away some of the information, which you could say that's a form of blogs, just again, educational blogs. And then also you have PDFs as well. So it's kind of getting the mixture right of also telling the story. That's why I kind of wrote this. Why is this problem important to you? So they get to know you as a person through that. And then that's kind of something that we touched on. What's the unfair advantage that your product has to others? And also think about what your own personal unfair advantage is, right? Because everybody, like you said, is an expert in their own fields. So what are the things that are really, really good at, that you're really, really good at, that could be narrowed down to a simple thing that actually a person needs? And then, you kind of walk through call to action and similar things, like we kind of shared about or talked about just earlier. I also emphasize a lot on the why and your purpose, because I think it's important to bring that across and to make that connection happening. So what is your mission? What is kind of like the bigger picture of your company? Why do you do this in general? So why do you get up in the morning in relation to the course that you create, and like what does that help? And also, then you can tell your own story and like what was your challenge with that thing that you're offering, right? So we had the problem earlier on, and I'm pretty sure that at some point you came across that problem in your own life and in your own challenge, and then you overcame it. So why are you compelled to like teaching others to overcome that problem? And I made the experience that usually people they think too broad, or too not too broad, but they want to put too many things in a course. So for example, I was just working with one of our mentors, Joshua. He's at green level or blue level, even, like an amazing entrepreneur, has lots of other running things, and is a business coach and has a business coaching company as well. So we started having a conversation, and he was like, he brought like the whole, it was like a 3-month incubator program that he wanted to do, right? Where you learned like everything from like, the idea stage and how you develop an idea to how you go to the lawyer and set up your business and like all the finance stuff and all these little details. It was like, I think, a process of 16 different steps that he takes his client on. And I think for a month or so, I was like challenging him on like, I don't think that's actually what you want to do. What you want to do is focusing on one step at a time and creating a whole microdegree out of each of these steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally got it. And so we're just working on.
He's got a series of microdegrees now, which people can go through. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this, is a kind of like a slide that takes you through each of these different phases, and also goes through the production phase and kind of like helps you to look at the details of what you need to get the skeleton right. That's what I kind of call the basic structure of the course first, before you add the meat to the flesh, and then the videos and how to do the videos. So
very cool
on that.
So this is the process. This is the process we took Joe Formosa through, who was at the recent Microdegree Builder Workshop. And that's why we've got like such an awesome microdegree. Like I think her microdegree is super cool. Like I've done it as well. I just love it. So why don't we talk about the Microdegree Builder Workshop right now? Because we've got our little exciting competition. So how about I screen share here? Maybe if you just stop the screen, there we go. I'll screen share at this side, because I think this is a good time to do a little drum roll. It's my drum roll, and unveil the winner fully funded place at the Microdegree Builder Workshop from the 27th of June to the 1st of July in Balali. And before I'm going to post this link for you all so you can start playing, why don't you tell everyone what happens at the Microdegree Builder Workshop, BB, because we just did one in February. It was super awesome. So tell everyone, I mean, you just went through all those slides. It's like, wow, there's so much to think about. Like, how did we take all of that content and in 3 days actually turn that into like awesome entire microdegrees?
Oh my God. Yeah, wasn't it awesome? Actually, we had a lot of fun as well. It did feel like a boot camp more than a workshop though in the end. But I think it was actually a really good thing. Like I was working with Jo for the longest time ever on this microdegree, and she just couldn't get the videos in, and I needed the videos to do the copy, and it was like all this. And then she just came along, and in 3 days she not only did her videos and outcompeted everyone else with like the amount of videos that she did, but she also had the idea for a whole other microdegree that she's just starting now with her own team. So that's pretty awesome. And she wasn't the only one.
So take everyone through like what happens over the 3 days, like how we break down those 3 days and what we take them through.
Exactly. So it's basically a longer version of what you have just seen in the slides. So on the first, so basically before that, before the course even starts, I help people, looking at the problem, the solution, and kind of like their ideas, and get an understanding of like what they're up to. And then Roger gets the information and actually, looks at the structure and gives his high-level comments on what he thinks what should be done and what works and what doesn't. And he has all this long-term experience of doing Microdegrees, so that was super awesome. And I think for some people, very insightful in terms of their entire business. Right, it wasn't only the Microdegrees. And then we talked for the rest of the day. We talked about the structure, but also the videos. So Roger had super insightful tips on how to create better video content and how to map out this whole story that I was talking about. So, for example, one thing was that you kind of send people first on a dip, right, and then you kind of lift them up again. So, in a hero's journey, it would be like, do you want to, or are you struggling with creating revenue from your Microdegree, or is that like a challenge for you? And then you're like, hooray, I have a solution. And anyway, so. More in depth in kind of like how to create your own videos and your own pitch, and then we had people like really working hard on how to present themselves in front of the camera, how to pitch their company. Even like some people didn't even like really feel confident in saying what they were standing for and what their company was standing for in like one sentence, right? So I think that's super important for any networking and for anything. So on top of all the other stuff, we kind of like talked about these things, and then also like really worked on their story and how to bring the story across. And then on the second day already, it was a full day of filming. So we had like really tight schedules of people being booked in for 2-3 hour slots and like just getting their video content out and getting it all done. You were one of the amazing supporters and like just encouraging people and being there. And it's an intense process. I think it like really confronted people with their confidence and stuff that they knew and didn't know about. And I think that was a really great opportunity for growth. Like I've seen so much.
I think anyone that's doing this for the first time, is very unlikely that they would do all their videos on half a day. But because they went through this process, they actually got all their videos done in half a day, which like, if you've never done this before, it's like highly likely you're not going to do it. You need to be really experienced. So this like process that we take you through to get your confidence and really understand how you need to do it and have the support to actually be able to do that in one go is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. And that's why we thought this Microdegree workshop, we could actually spend an additional extra day, and that we kind of give a way for people to create more videos in case they have struggled on the second day. We've learned from that. But yeah, so anyway, the second day is all about the video content. And once they're through with that, I already start actually working on the copy and give some insights on what great copy looks like on the Microdegree. And like I said, it's kind of a mixture of educational blogging and teaching, kind of like that's the style that I write in, I think. But obviously there are many different ways in how to do it. I also think so that's what we start doing on the third day. We really go into the deeper structure of the course and kind of what tools you could be using to get people more engaged and excited. So we not only have the opportunity, to write, but we also have the opportunity to use slider assessments and questions, where you can motivate. Yeah, I think that's kind of like keeps the whole Microdegree exciting. Cool. And yeah,
very cool. So in essence, this is a 3-day, 4-night workshop where I can pretty much say that you will not get this much work done if you try to figure this out for yourself and you've never done this before. If you're an experienced online educator, that's totally fine. Go create your Microdegrees. If you've not done it before and this is your first time, coming to this workshop is going to change everything. And we had people like Bibi said, who'd been trying to get their Microdegrees done for some period of time and just weren't able to get them done, weren't able to figure it out. The minute they're in a room with us where we can just give all of that advice. So you've got Roger giving strategic direction on the product and strategic direction on what makes for a highly attractive micro degree. You've got BB going through like, how do you actually put the micro degree together? How do you actually structure it? How do you make sure that that copy is written perfectly? I'm there supporting on what's the promotion plan? How are you going to generate revenue from this? What are you going to turn this into a funnel? So you've got 3 very, very different mentors who are all focused at the same thing, which is creating a real success. So to do something like that in 3 days is really phenomenal. And like, if you were just wanting to work with somebody to create your own micro degree, like we've been out and we've price compared how this works in the marketplace. We've seen people who are charging upwards of like $30,000 to charge you to work with them to actually create their micro degree, and you're still figuring most of it out for yourself. So here is the launch of the competition. I'm going to post it right now because everyone's going to get cross with me if I don't. You're like, where is it? How do I apply? And you can start applying straight away. I can see there's some questions coming in. So once I've just shared about this, we'll come back to the questions as well. So you can win a fully funded place. This is only open to mentors. If you're a leader and you're on the call, you can apply. But if you do win the place, you will need to be a mentor in order to come. So you will need to have done some kind of certification or some kind of program or be a mentor. So you'll need to pay the upgrade to be a mentor. But if you're a leader and you're keen to come as well and you think this is super exciting, then you should be a mentor anyway. But somebody is going to be super lucky. They're going to win the fully funded place. You just got to get to Bali. So fly yourself out to Bali. We'll pick you up from the airport if you win. You'll get the 3 days, 4 nights. You'll stay at Vision Villas, which is our beautiful venue out there. You've got the 3 mentors working with you. You've got Roger helping you out beforehand to make sure you've got the best micro degree. You've got BB there, who's going to be there the whole 3 days. And Roger and I will be live streaming in for different parts of the 3 days as well to keep you on track with your promotions and your structure. So you can go ahead and apply for this already. Here's the first prize. A $5,000 4-night, 3-day workshop in Bali, 27th of June to 1st of July. All your food and accommodation based on twin sharing. We'll pick you up from the airport and bring you to Vision Villas where we host the workshop. There's a picture of Suraj. He looks like he's trying to shoot somebody with his fingers. But we only do this workshop twice a year, and there is only 15 spaces on it. And the reason we can't open up to more people is because it's very intensive. So there's a lot of one-on-one mentoring. There's a lot of time that we invest with each mentor. So it's not something we can scale up and have like 50, 60 people coming to, because we want to spend that quality time with you. So and there is only twice a year because it's pretty intensive from our side as well. But you're going to get the planning and designing ahead, so you know what your micro degree should be. You've got that mentoring and that hand holding over the 3 days, but also with BB before and after as well. So you get to spend more time with BB. BB's going to share like how you can tell your story in a really, really engaging way, how you express your brand, how you pitch yourself. We've got these webinars as well. So we've got a series of webinars we're doing at the moment. We've got a series of webinars. So these are all free webinars right now for people who want to run micro degrees. But then there's also webinars for you guys afterwards if you join the Micro Degree Builder Workshop, where we really make sure that you're getting all that extra support and training after the workshop as well. We'll do the filming of the videos and pull them together for you and give you those so you can actually upload those already. And we'll share them and we'll tell people like, these are our cool new videos. These are our cool new micro degrees, and we'll promote them to our members through our GeniusU newsletter as well. And you've got that ongoing support. And as I said, you've got the airport transfers. Also, there's 25 profile tokens for anyone that comes in through this competition. So you get these bonuses as well. You get a free Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind place, which you can gift to someone, or you can use yourself if you're a leader. You can get a voucher against the Partner Accelerator, which it will be running in quarter 3 and quarter 4. 10% off any services that you want to use if you want our team to help you create some stuff, do some digital marketing, help you promote your micro degree, and a free ticket to our Exponential Entrepreneur, which is being held in Bali or in London. So you can choose which one you want to have as well. So there's it's a really cool prize. You've got Catherine and Joe Formosa saying that this was an awesome workshop and why you should come. Both Joe's has gone live. Catherine's is going live any day now. Hers is awesome. She's got the Wealth Vector cards as well. And also we've got some runner-up prizes as well. So there's 14 runner-up prizes where you'll actually get a $1,500 discount voucher. So if you don't win, you definitely can still come at a much reduced rate. And here's all the details of the workshop, when it's going to happen, and you can go ahead and just put your application in. So tell us why you want to win and why you think that you should win specifically. Put in a really good reason, because we will go through all the reasons and decide who is the person that should be winning this. So I've posted it in there already, so I'm expecting some of you are going in already. And Bibi, let's just have a look at the questions that have come through while everyone is just going in and applying. What's the questions that you've seen come through? Let's take those as well now.
I think we have covered 2. So there was one on what the best strategy is in terms of free micro degree or paid microdegrees. So Heather Watson asks, interested to hear the theory behind microdegrees. Free would be recommended to have a free initial microdegree, but then higher value, more detailed, advanced products to generate income itself.
Exactly. That's the way to do it. I mean, you want to build your community and have as many people coming in as possible through the free microdegree. And then you get them to come through your circle, do your webinars, book into one-to-ones, you know, and find other routes where they can access you and join your mentoring and your coaching programs as well. Definitely. Yeah,
exactly.
Or upsell them into a priced microdegree. That's another option as well. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think I want to be going more into the different strategies and like why you want to build a microdegree and what you can use it for on the next webinar. I've already shared that in the Entrepreneur Mentor Circle, but definitely we'll go more into that. Kind of also based on what Roger shared in his ideas.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to kind of see his perspective. And then Heather again asks another question. Is there a way to include a PDF real certificate for people who complete microdegrees for those that may use it as evidence for consulting professional development for external organizations?
Well, yeah, I mean, the answer is yeah, because we include a certification in the Flow Consultant. So I think that's lovely to have a little certificate at the end, and that gets delivered automatically once they've completed their certification. So a certification is different to a microdegree. So Heather, just to be clear, a certification is a high value, high price point, which is like our at a global partner level can do a certification. So the Genius Educator certification, you know, I think you've just joined up for the Health Dynamics certification. So those are all high level ones, which are certification. But you can definitely give people a certificate for completing your microdegree, especially if you think it's going to add to their CPD. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think what I have to add there that it doesn't like there's no automatic kind of thing where you can put a PDF form on and then it will like email an automated PDF to your.
Let's take that to the team then. Yeah, let's take that to the team because we've definitely done that in our own microdegree. So let's put that in as a dev request then for the microdegrees.
Right. Yeah. That would be something cool. Right now, what you can do is definitely have a downloadable PDF and just have that and then add that to your steps at the very end, for example. So that's possible. Yeah.
Oh, groovy. Any other questions?
No, that was it.
All right. Well, look, guys, thank you very much for your time. Hope you've all applied to win. Good luck in the competition. Someone has to win it. You've got to be in it to win it, obviously. Bibi, what's the date and time of the next webinar?
That would be next week, just an hour earlier.
On Wednesday next week, but an hour earlier.
Exactly, 8 a.m. UK time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make sure that's in the events for everyone to see as well. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks, Bibi, for your time, for organizing the webinar. And good luck, everyone, in the competition. See you next week.
Thank you, Michelle. You've been awesome.
Bye.